Anyways, I'm gonna try and do this video really quick because it's almost bedtime and somebody's getting cranky. So, basically this video is gonna be for parents who have had babies, that were born with a cleft palate or cleft lip. I feel like when we found out that our daughter had one, I was handed a pamphlet and that's it. I didn't know anything about it. It came to us as a shock. We had no idea. Basically, I had my daughter, and when she came out and she was laying on my chest, she was making really weird, like, sounds, like, almost like there was phlegm stuck in between, like, her nose and throat. And I didn't think anything of it because I was a new mom, so I wasn't really paying attention to that. I guess my husband thought that it didn't seem normal, but I just didn't really think anything of it. And then my husband, after a while, he went to go get something to eat, and while he was gone, it was just me and my sister in the hospital room. And I remember the nurses going, "Oh, it looks like she has a hole in the back of her throat." And I was like, what? Like, it was just like a sick feeling, like what does that mean? And I had been trying to nurse her, and like she would suck, but it was a very, very weak suck and a very weak suction, and she would do it for like a couple of seconds and then stop, and we'd try and do it again, and and I was one of those people that while I was pregnant, I was like, I'm breastfeeding no matter what. That was my number one goal. And so when I was trying to breastfeed her, I felt like, why isn't this working? Like, I felt like I was gonna be a pro at it. And that was when they had like a specialist doctor come in, and he was like, "Yep, she has a cleft palate." And I just remember being like, what does that mean? And it was very emotional for me because, like, I don't really know exactly how my husband felt about it, but it made me feel like I did something wrong. Like, and I guess this one is where it goes into the weight thing. Is I was completely healthy when I was pregnant with her. I never drank, I don't do drugs, never have done drugs, but I didn't eat very well, and so somehow I thought, well, this must be my fault, this must be the reason why she has this. And so it was very emotional for me, and I was very quiet when everything was being said and done. And so going from there, basically, she didn't have a suction, and the hospital that we were at was very pro breastfeeding, and I still am pro breastfeeding. I wish that I could have done it. It still bothers me to this day that I couldn't breastfeed her. But because they were so, oh, breastfeed her, breastfeed her, breastfeed her, there was like 24 hours that she didn't eat. Well, because she didn't eat, her body wasn't pushing out like the meconium or whatever you call it, her first poo, and she wasn't peeing, and she wasn't cranky or anything. She wasn't giving signs like that she was hungry or anything. She was just really tired. So it was 24 hours, and her bilirubin was really high, and we didn't know anything about that kind of stuff, and so it really freaked us out. And they finally gave us formula, but nurses kept, like, every time they'd come in, "Did you try to nurse her?" And that just made me feel like more of a failure, because they would ask me and I would try, and I just couldn't because she wasn't sucking. So they came the next day after I had her and gave us a special bottle called the Haberman bottle, and that helped. She drank milk fine. But when it came to discharging me, they were saying like that they might have to keep her, and that was really emotional. I remember my husband talking to his sister, and she asked how I was doing, and he was like, "Oh, she's fine. She doesn't seem emotional." And at that very moment, I was biting my cheek, trying not to cry, because I was so upset that there was a chance we weren't going to get to bring her home that night. So going from there, basically, we had a couple trips to a hospital nearby, OHSU. It's one of like the bigger hospitals in Oregon, to meet with specialists and talk about surgery and yada yada yada, all the kinds of bottles that she'll need and stuff. And again, her cleft palate wasn't as bad as other babies. Like, it could have been a lot worse, and I'm thankful that hers wasn't too bad. I don't even have pictures of it because it was so tiny. It was basically where your uvula is in the back of your throat, that little thing that hangs down. It was split in half, and there was like a hole there. So when she would drink milk, sometimes it would come up her nose. When we started introducing solids, it would come up her nose. And she had surgery in July, so she was, I think, 10 months, almost 11 months old when she had the surgery done. And the surgery went really well. There were no complications with the surgery. She came out and she was really not awake from the anesthesia, and when she did wake up, she was a little bit whiny that night, but the next morning she woke up like nothing had ever happened. So I'm not telling you that your baby's going to do that, because every baby responds differently, especially if your child does have a cleft lip or a cleft palate. But the hard palate, I know those can be a little bit more difficult and harder on children. But for us, she's pretty tough anyways. Like, when she falls and gets hurt, she cries for like a second and she's over it. So that might just be her personality. But again, this video is just, I guess this is more my experience, and to let other parents know that you're not alone, and it was difficult and it's not your fault. I thought of that for a long time. Is this my fault? And to be honest, I don't even think they know exactly what causes it. It's the #1 birth defect. And like, I'm surprised that there isn't more info about it, just because I feel like maybe there is more information out there. Maybe I should Google it, but I just feel like for us, we weren't given as much information on it. The only effects that she has from it now is delayed speech. She wasn't able to say dada before she had surgery, and then right after surgery she was able to say dada. Her D's are a little bit harder for her to say, and she says dada fine now. She rarely says mama now, but we've just noticed that she doesn't talk as much as other kids her age. She's very smart, but she just hasn't had as much practice, I guess, as other kids. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to private message me or leave comments. And this isn't a pity party or anything like that. I don't want any, oh, I'm sorry, or anything like that. This is just purely from mom to a mom or parent to a parent, letting you all know that, you know, this is my experience with it, and you can ask any questions. I felt like when we had her and I was on parenting groups, and surgery is really scary. I've never had surgery. My husband, I think, had his tonsils removed, but that's it, when he was very young. And so we didn't know what to expect, and it's really scary thinking that your kid is going, you know, under anesthesia. And so it was very scary for us. And so when I would post on like parenting groups asking questions if anyone had any experience, sorry, I gave her a flashlight and she's playing with it. Oh, you want banana? Anyways, when I would ask people, you know, what their experience was with surgery and everything, nobody ever knew anything. Everyone would always say, oh, my friend of a friend, but it was always people they knew. It was never them personally, and that makes a difference. Like, you can't base your experience off of just knowing somebody who had it. Like, I wanted to know people's experience as a parent. You know, everything that went on as far as therapy and surgery and eating and talking and everything. So this is just purely my experience, and just, you know, I hope this is helpful for other parents. I just wanted to do a little video, and I hope that it's helpful to you guys. And as you can see, she's totally normal and crazy and silly and loves bananas. You love bananas? Yeah? Do you love bananas? Oh, you want a banana? Can you say please? Almost. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah? And I hope this doesn't seem like I'm rambling or anything. It's still an emotional thing for me, just because she's my daughter and I love her, and she's perfect in my eyes, but like I said, it's something that we didn't expect. The whole breastfeeding thing, I had to pump, and I wasn't expecting to pump, so I wasn't very knowledgeable on it. And I know that there's information I probably could have gotten, but at that time I just really didn't know any better. And so I pumped for about 4 months straight, and then pretty much my milk just went away. Like when my milk first came in, I was like a cow. Like I filled up our freezer, I filled up our fridge, I took milk to my in-laws. Like I had so much milk, and then I just wasn't pumping, I guess, the right way. I would pump less time, but on like high, you know, the Medela pumps, like you can turn it up and it just sucks really hard. I would pump less time and turn it all the way up, and so I don't know if that affected it, but basically my milk just kept slowly going away by 4 months. And so that was another thing that really affected our whole, you know, experience and everything, and that was like one thing that was very important to me, but it just wasn't possible. So I hope this is helpful, and if you guys, like I said, if you have any questions or anything, go ahead and comment or private message me, and I will see you guys later. Bye!